Many men secretly believe they are unlovable, not unattractive, not unsuccessful, but fundamentally impossible to truly love. And the frightening part is, most men never openly talk about this feeling. They hide it behind silence, humor, work, distraction, emotional detachment, but internally, many men genuinely believe something is emotionally wrong with them. This feeling usually does not begin in adulthood. It begins during childhood. Some boys grow up feeling emotionally ignored, loved only when successful, praised only when useful, and eventually, they begin believing love must always be earned. Some grow up with emotionally distant fathers, fathers who rarely show affection, rarely express emotions, rarely make them feel emotionally safe, and slowly, the child begins blaming himself instead of the environment around him. Because children naturally think, if the people around me cannot love me correctly, something must be wrong with me. That belief becomes deeply internalized, and many men carry it for years without realizing it. Modern society makes this emotional pressure even worse. Men are constantly taught to perform, be strong, be successful, be confident, and never appear emotionally weak. So many men begin connecting self-worth with achievement. If they fail financially, they feel worthless. If they are rejected romantically, they feel fundamentally broken. And over time, they stop believing unconditional love exists for them at all. That emotional pressure silently exhausts people, because many men feel like they must constantly prove themselves worthy of affection, worthy of respect, worthy of attention, worthy of love itself. And honestly, living like that becomes emotionally draining. Many boys are also taught emotional suppression early in life. Man up, stop crying, be strong, don't complain. And after hearing those messages repeatedly, many men disconnect from their own emotions completely, not because they feel nothing, but because expressing emotions stopped feeling safe long ago, so instead of expressing sadness, they become quiet. Instead of asking for support, they isolate themselves emotionally. And eventually, many men no longer know how to communicate emotional pain honestly, so they distract themselves constantly. Work, gaming, social media, endless scrolling, anything to avoid sitting alone with painful emotions. That emotional suppression creates deep loneliness, the kind nobody notices externally. A man can smile every day, while secretly feeling emotionally disconnected from everyone around him, and many people never notice the suffering underneath that silence. Franz Kafka understood this emotional alienation deeply. His writing constantly explored loneliness, silence, and psychological suffering, the feeling of existing around people while still feeling emotionally disconnected internally. And honestly, many modern men understand that feeling more than ever today. Because modern society rewards performance more than authenticity. People admire confidence, success, perfection, but rarely emotional honesty. That is why vulnerability feels terrifying for many men, because deep inside, they fear emotional rejection more than loneliness itself. They fear being fully seen emotionally and still not being accepted. So instead of risking vulnerability, many men emotionally isolate themselves, quietly suffering, quietly overthinking, quietly believing nobody would truly understand them anyway. And after enough time, silence becomes their comfort zone. Modern loneliness affects men deeply. Many have fewer emotional friendships, fewer emotionally safe spaces, fewer people they can honestly open up to without fear of judgment, and eventually, their emotions remain trapped internally for years. That isolation slowly changes personality. A man becomes quieter, more emotionally distant, more detached from people, and over time, life itself starts feeling emotionally exhausting. Many men secretly replay rejection constantly, failed relationships, ignored messages, embarrassing moments, emotional disappointment, and eventually, they stop seeing rejection as an experience. They see it as proof they were never enough. That belief becomes dangerous because once someone truly believes they are unlovable, they stop expecting connection entirely. And when hope disappears, loneliness becomes emotionally permanent. Maybe that is why some men disappear emotionally, not physically, emotionally. They still go outside, still work, still talk normally, but internally, they feel disconnected from everyone around them. The saddest part is, many emotionally exhausted men still deeply want love, still want understanding, still want emotional safety, but vulnerability no longer feels emotionally safe enough to risk. So they remain distant, quiet, detached, not because they feel nothing, but because they spent years hiding everything they truly felt inside, and eventually they forgot how to emotionally reconnect again. Maybe that is why loneliness silently destroys so many men today, because many suffer quietly, without ever explaining what destroyed them emotionally. And honestly, some men do not need perfection. They just need someone who makes vulnerability feel safe again. Subscribe for more videos on psychology, loneliness, existential philosophy, and emotional awareness inspired by Franz Kafka. Welcome to Germany Mind Lore.